I've got the vision.
Because protecting my fingies. Hi guys, and welcome to the Healeyverse, or welcome back if you've been here before. I'm Katie, if you don't already know, and I made a thing. I'm really excited about it, as is the case with most things that I make. So if you clicked on this video, you probably saw the thumbnail. You probably already know I made a purse, a bag, a handbag even, if you would. It looks like this, and I'm really heckin' proud of it. So, when we acquired all the leather that we acquired, we got a significant amount of this blue. Now, unfortunately, it was all very much stuck together and had some damage, so not all of the blue is usable for things like this, but there was enough that I was like, you know what, I want a blue handbag. Blue is my favorite color, and I want to make myself one because Matt had gotten me a handbag for Christmas, and it's Lord of the Rings themed, and I love it, but it's also white and fabric, and I don't want to ruin it. So I was like, I want something a bit more durable, a bit more rough and tumble. I wanted something durable enough that it could withstand me on the daily basis, and so I went with leather, obviously, because we had it, and I'm working on learning how to use it. I had my leather, I had a dream, and I had a can-do attitude. But more importantly, I had a husband who knew what he was doing and could help me, and has been helping me. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, guys. It is I. I'm back again today. So, I had started on a sewing project, but like the next stage for that sewing project is ironing both my fabric and my pattern. And it's too hot for me to want to put an iron on today. Excuse me, I don't know what my voice is doing. But I was like, you know what? I really want a smaller version of this bag that I made here, right? But I want it a little bit more complicated, but also something that I can use on the daily, because like it'd be really cool to like use a leather purse that I made on the reg. You know, maybe that's just me, but it feels practical and fun and cool. So we have this blue leather, and we have a lot of this blue leather. I think we have like 10 rolls, like 10 of these sheafs. They're halves. They're halves. We have 10 of them in this blue, and the inside is like this really soft, and it's thin, but it's fairly like stiff and structural. They did have a funky smell, and I think they were treated differently, but like it's fine. The edge is a little bit weird, but I think it'll work fine for what I want it to be. Now for this bag, I want it significantly smaller than the last one I made, but I want it big enough to fit this book specifically. Isn't it funny how like I have a reference thing? That was for the laptop, this is for the book. Anyway, this is a moleskin book that my husband got me forever ago, and it has so many things. I planned our wedding with this book. Like, this book has seen some things, and so I want to give it somewhere I can carry it along with my phone, keys, wallet when we're going places. And not only that, it'll work with like LARP events, Hobbit stuff, festivals, that kind of stuff, but also on the day-to-day. It's my husband. So this is the dimension I'm going for. So first up is going to be making a paper template. So I gotta go find some paper. Oh no. I found paper. Here it is. We got the big art book because it's decent thickness of paper for the template, and it's big enough that I can make my template from it. So here we go.
So, as is the case with pretty much all of our leather projects, the first step was making a paper template. Obviously, that's what we do here. I actually made this one myself with no help from Matt. Okay, I'll wait for the congratulations. Thanks, guys. I did it. And I was really happy with it.
Guys, this is the first paper template that I've made solo. I used so much knowledge that Matt imparted on me to make this and make it symmetrical and like cut it out. I used the Stanley knife. Like, this is character development. This is growth, and I'm so proud of myself. Now, a little bit of explanation, right? So this is my rough purse size. I might make the gusset a scooch bigger than this, but that won't affect the back flap necessarily, and I'll put my fastener on towards the end so I can fasten it wherever it falls, if that makes any sense. Anyway, essentially my plan is I will be doing 2 of these rectangular. Where I folded this, I'll be cutting out 2 of those in the blue, 1 of the full thing, and then I'll need to get the dimensions, like the length for the gusset. Also, I'm doing like a double gusset because the reason I'm cutting out 2 of this one is because I want a divider in the middle. So I want 2 pockets on the inside of this bag, which is like, dude, I just made my first bag like a month or so ago, and now I'm like, I want more complicated. So, you know, it's fine. But, so I've got my rough template. So first step will be marking my leather and cutting out 2 of these, 1 of these, and then figuring out the gusset. Like I said, I may make it a little bit wider than this because it is going to need to stitch both to the front and the back, but then also to that middle one. I'm going to need to do 2 lines of holes for stitching so it can go through that middle bit. I've got the vision. It's time to mark my leather. Guys, I'm like cruising on this. Let's go.
Once my paper template was ready and I was happy with it, I then realized that actually I needed to make a slight adjustment when I was marking and cutting my leather, because the whole concept I had in mind was to have a partition in the middle, so I had 2 separate compartments within my bag, mainly one for my phone and wallet, and then another one that if I checked my keys in it, it wasn't going to scratch my phone. Do you see? Like, there's some thought that goes into my projects. So I realized if I wanted anything substantial bag-wise, I needed to increase the length of my back and overflap piece. This guy, this bit needed to be longer to accommodate for a double width gusset. Now, the normal width of the gusset that I made in this bag, which I just made this bag and now I'm making another bag, but I'm making a more difficult bag, so like, growth. Anyway, the width of the gusset in this bag was 2 inches, which is a great width, but that bag was more for like LARPs and like traveling and carrying stuff, and if I want somewhere to put my cloak and that kind of thing. I wanted something more day to day, hence this project. So what I did is I simply doubled the gusset width, so I made it 4 inches, but I made sure I marked my center bit, and wowie, pencil worked really well on this material. This leather in particular just took the pencil so well, which is great because I know it'll just come right off. Doubling the gusset was going to be necessary, but big brain, I just did it when I actually went to mark out my leather, and all I did was, when marking out the leather to cut, I marked where the top of the gusset initially would have been, and then I shifted it up to put the bottom where the top was, and then continued marking, and that did it. That did it absolutely perfectly, and so that solved that problem, and then it just meant I needed to, make the gusset bigger. Once I figured out that little puzzle, then it was marking my pieces of leather and getting them cut out. And for the first time, I actually used a Stanley blade to cut out everything. I tried for a moment with my scissors and was like, absolutely not, this leather is too thick. I'm not trying it. And I'm actually really pleased that I overcame this mental block that I'd had around using the Stanley knife, because I was convinced that I couldn't cut in a straight line and I couldn't follow a marked line and it was just going to end up horrible. And it didn't. Imagine that.
And there they are, my 3 pieces of leather. They're all cut out. And I'm really proud of myself for like more Stanley knife usage. My hand is cramping, but honestly not as much as if like I'd use scissors. So, just a little go me. Don't tell him. But Matt was right. It is actually genuinely like not as hard to guide the Stanley blade as I thought it would be. Could have potentially done with a sharper one, but I managed. It's fine. I'll swap. I'll flip it. I'll flip the blade. It'll be fine. Hello. Is it okay?
Hello, people. Like and subscribe if
Yes.
you have not already.
What he said.
Very hot.
It is.
It's not fun.
I'm sweating inside. Anyway, that's my gusset cutout. So ignore the pencil line. That is for me to punch along either side of. So I will just use the, not wing divider, it's like a compass to just mark on either side, equidistant. Punch that out. Punch along the sides of this. Punch along the sides of this. Punch along the sides of this. And punch along the sides of this, but only up until where this one ends. So that's what's next. Punching. I'm not excited. I'm not excited at all. You know, I'm
Very
not
good at timing.
Yeah, you are. I'm not excited about punching, but come look at my project.
I don't want to come in because it sounds like you're excited to punch something.
Anyway, next. Yeah. Then it's a matter of attaching the gusset to the back, the middle, and the front, and I think in that order I think will probably be easiest. I don't know, sure, I've never done this before. Anyway. And then the fastener on the front, and then adding a strap, and I'm gonna figure out what I want to do about the strap. But I will figure it out. It'll be fine. Okay, bye.
Once the pieces were cut out, I could measure for my gusset, and that came out to about 60 centimeters. Pretty much spot on 60 centimeters. And guess what? My favorite metal 2-inch ruler is 60 centimeters long. It's absolutely perfect. 2 inches wide, 60 centimeters long. Don't come at me for mixing imperial and metric. It works. I'm an American who lives in the UK. Imperial and metric are just meshing now. This is happening. I'm acclimatizing. I marked out my gusset, made sure to mark that center line. As I was saying, that center line is where the centerpiece of my pouch was going. And one thing real quick, for the centerpiece, I decided a little bit last minute that I wanted it just slightly shorter than the outside. I wanted to have it kind of sit in a little bit. And so I just simply shortened that piece of leather by, I don't even know, a centimeter or something like that. It was a very little bit, just enough, but not drastically. So I can easily put something in either pouch, but it's not there up at the top, making it very boxy and square. This was an aesthetic choice, somewhat functional. Once I had all my pieces, except for my strap, cut out, it was time to put it together, because I was like, you know what, I'll wait till it's together and then figure out strap length and all that. And oh my gosh, it was so much hole punching for the stitch holes. Like, not only did I have to do around the front piece, around the center piece, around the back piece, I also had to do 4 rows on the gusset. 1 for the front, 1 for the back, and 2 to attach to the middle piece. And like, we've determined I don't like punching. I prefer sewing. I've not even finished punching the gusset, and I have decided that I don't like punching. But I told Matt that, and he said that's fine. I don't like sewing. So like, we might be looking at some collaborative projects where he does all the punching and I do all the sewing, and not this one. I'm doing this one. My back doesn't like that I'm doing this one, but I'm doing this one. So here we go. Anyway, so once it was finally all punched out, I started attaching the back to the gusset, because that's how I've always seen Matt assemble his pouches. That's how I've assembled my satchel, and the pouch I made for John that we didn't actually make a video about, but it was really cool, and we have some clips, so like maybe I'll make Matt a matching one and finish out that video. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see that, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. Because it just makes sense. You attach that and then you attach the front and it just comes together in that pouch shape. But then I realized, fortunately before it was too late, that I actually needed to attach the center part. Otherwise it was going to be an absolute pain in the butt to attach once the gusset was fully attached to the back.
Oh gosh, it's so dark. Hello. Sorry, it's nighttime now, but I can't even see it super well. I'm this far. But I realized that if I start sewing the back to the gusset and it starts to curve, sewing the inside flap is going to be super difficult. So I am reframing, leaving that attached, but I'm going to start sewing the middle flap to the middle divider to the gusset now, and then finish the back and then do the front. I think, obviously I asked Matt's opinion and he's like, I've never done this before, figure it out. In the most supportive way. Very encouraging, like I'm trailblazing, and I can tell him when I figure it out. So I'm very excited for that. So I'm switching tactics real quick. I'm gonna get the middle flap ready. And then yeah. But there's like a European football game. It's soccer. It's not. There's a football game going on, so I'm just doing this while England plays against Norway. It's a team. It's like the Viking ones. I think it's Norway. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna put the middle flap on now. Bye.
So, with the back still attached, I started attaching the center part of my pouch, that divider. And that was a challenge, but I managed. It took a while because it's going through 3 holes instead of just the 2, but I think it came together fairly easily. So once I got the center bit attached, now mind you, I left extra length on the gusset so that I could trim it to make sure it fits, because what I didn't want to happen is to have it be lopsided and not be able to fix it or have to take everything out. So if you just leave a bit of extra room on your gusset, you can always cut it off, but it is really difficult to add more on. So I've stuck with that, same as I did in my satchel video. Now, once the divider was attached, the next step was finishing attaching the back. And obviously with this divider now attached, the back just got a little bit more difficult to attach. But I managed, and then it was putting the front on. And it's so much sewing, but I enjoy this bit so much that it's a really weird counterbalance of like wanting the project to be done, because then I have this project that's done, and wanting to still be able to sew it. It's strange. Let me know if you can relate, because it's a real conundrum I have. Anyway, once the pouch was put together, there were really just 3 things left. First was the strap. It needed a strap, and so I just set it kind of where I wanted it on my waist, took a belt, wrapped it around me, figured out what length, approximately 120 centimeters for mine. That does not have an allowance for my seam allowance. That's a seamstress thing. It did not have allowance for where it was being attached, so it's 120 total. And I used the tape hack again, because 2 inches is the perfect strap width for like a comfortable wide strap, and I dig it. And I'm so happy this tape hack has just continued to pay off. I did definitely struggle more with cutting this one out, because the yellow tape on the tan leather was definitely harder to see and make sure it was a straight line versus following a pencil line, and I could have just penciled around the tape, but it's done now. It's too late. Could've, would've, should've, as they say. Once the strap was cut out, it was a matter of attaching it, and attach it I did, all by myself. No, I didn't. Matt helped me so much with punching it out, because obviously not only was this bag together already, and I needed to punch the holes for the strap, it was also had this whole heckin' divider in the middle that means you can't just slot something inside to punch your holes against. We really had to finagle it, and I couldn't have done it without Matt's help. But we did it. We punched the holes, I got it sewed up, and then it needed a clasp. And I knew from the start, when I first conceptualized the bag, I was like, I want a Sam Browne button. They're super handy, they're really easy to use, they're easy to install, and my pouch that I use for hiking that just perfectly fits my phone and my wallet has a Sam Browne, and it's really, like, I'm really comfortable with that, and so I wanted that. So again, Matt helped me with that because he is the expert, and I knew it was going to be a bit fiddly with punching the holes and getting the Sam Browne button lined up and the hole punched and all that, and he did wonderfully with it. And then I said there were 3 things. Okay, so the third thing was the same issue I had on my last pouch, in that even though it was all together, it was stitched together, it didn't look finished. There was an element of it looking just not there yet. It needed the stitching on the front to just give it that beautiful, like, definition and the contrast against the blue, the white to the blue, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And I literally finished that last night, which, if you couldn't tell, it was the England game last night, and I may have sewn this getting ready for the game as we were waiting for it to start. But I finished it. Matt burned all my threads because protecting my fingies, and it was done. And I'm so happy with, honestly, it could have come together a lot quicker, but I was having to make it around work and an absolutely insane life schedule at the minute. But it came together so quickly, and I had art, but admittedly, before I even did the final stitch around the edge, I had actually already used it, and it's so durable, and it stands up so, maybe not there, because it stands up so nicely. You just have to believe me. It stands up really nicely, and it's sturdy and durable, and I love this thing. And this is gonna be my new, like, daily purse. Now, I am aware, and I did have a comment on my last bag video, that the strap will be the weakest link because there's no additional stitching, it doesn't have any reinforcement, it will likely wear out first. I'm not mad about that. I'm totally fine with that. I might add stitching on this should I choose to. I just worry about any kind of stitching maybe rubbing on, like, my shoulder. But replacing a strap is not the worst thing when it's just a matter of taking the stitching out and getting the holes punched on the strap, and, like, it's honestly not a hard thing. And I have thoughts about making an adjustable strap, maybe not for this bag, but certainly at some point soon I want to try maybe making an adjustable strap that has, like, the buckle and then different holes so you can adjust the strap length, because I think that would be really cool. I also have thoughts about making, like, an overnight duffel bag sort of thing with a softer type of leather, potentially even the blue. I could make a matching set. I also need a new change purse. Guys, I have too many ideas and not enough time, honestly. I will be using this for the day-to-day, but I also might even use it for the LARPs coming up, of which there's a few. First off, we are going to the Brandywine Festival here in the UK. That's in September. If you're going to that, leave a comment, let me know. We'd love to see you there. And I need to honestly get on trinket making because I want to do trinket trading. I've never done it before, but it looks so wonderful. The other LARP we have coming up is called the Stormborn LARP, and that is also here in the UK. It's in Ashburn. That's in October, and we will be there. We are also collaborating with the creators, so if you do want to go, there will be a link down below to get your tickets, and if you use code Healey5, that's Healey 5, you will get £5 off of your ticket, so make sure to do that. You can also go here, and this is the logo, and, like, don't tell anyone, but Matt designed this logo. Isn't it cool? Very proud of them. So if you want to see us at either of those events, we will be at both of them, and we would be happy to meet anyone who wants to take the time out of their day to meet us. And now that this is all put together, maybe some B-roll. I love it so much. I'm so happy. If you made it this far in the video, I do want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to go down and hit like and subscribe if you want to stick around for more videos and stuff, and turn on notifications because we're working on having like an every other week posting schedule, but this one skipped one. So, but we have more stuff coming. Matt's just finished a really cool project, so he will have a video coming very soon, and I have more things in the works. So definitely, you know, hit those buttons so you know what we're up to. Announcement, we have a Discord, so if you want to chat to us and like share idea things, the link is in the description, and we would love to have you over there. We do also have a Patreon, and if you want to support us further, that is the best way to do it. Shout out to our current patrons. You guys are the best, and we appreciate you being here. The link for that is down in the description, and anything helps. Even if you can't contribute through Patreon, liking or watching to the end of the video, or watching another video also helps us. So thank you. We also have 3 other YouTube channels. If you want to check them out, they're linked down below with a slight description. There's one that's lore, one for training with weapons and stuff, and one where we dress up in the woods in costumes and do silly things. It's whimsical. It's beautiful. If you have made it this far in the video, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Or Matt will. Who knows what that could be. It'll be one of us, that's for sure. Hi guys. How does one do double the width of the gusset? I was going to need to get interrupted. It's okay, there's 3 minutes left on the camera for storage. Do I redo the whole thing? I don't know. I did that because I wanted to, and you couldn't stop me. That felt chaotic. I really hope I can organize that in a sensible manner. England lost last night, and we were sad. It was really disappointing, actually. I'm not that big on sports, but I bandwagoned, and I got, like, quite into the game, and it was sad. And on that note, I'm gonna go. Bye!